Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Join us on Twitter, Cascade Hoop Talk. Hope everybody's staying safe. Take care of your family. Stay inside. While you're doing that, listen to Cascade Hoops Talk. Today we have Tyler Borchers, Morningside Mustang big man, first team All-American. Tyler finished his career with just shy of 2,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. In his 4-year career, he shot 66% from the field. Every 3 shots he took, 2 of them went in. Morningside was ranked number 1 much of the year, and they were a number 1 seed coming into the tournament. Tyler's play was a big reason for that. Welcome, Tyler. Thanks for being on the show.
Hey, I appreciate it, Billy. Thanks for having me.
So, Tyler, you play your high school ball in Lamars, Iowa. You had a monster high school career, over 1,100 points, first team Class 3 All-State, averaged a double-double, 18 points, 10 rebounds. You shot 63% from the field. You had a unbelievable high school career. What was it like to dominate at that level? And, just talk about that high school career.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot of fun playing high school ball. I knew our head coach pretty well and pretty good family friends with my dad, so I was in the gym, all the time growing up. And then my senior year, we finally made it down to the state tournament and had a run at the title there and ended up losing the championship game, so didn't quite come out the way we wanted, but, I wanted to trade it for anything. I had a great team chemistry, in high school, and a great coach, so that goes a long way.
So I imagine out of high school you were pretty highly recruited. From what I've read, you were strongly considering Morningside, and then kind of at the last minute, maybe not the last minute, but you ended up taking a D1 offer to go to USD, and then you went to University of South Dakota, and you ended up doing a redshirt year. Did that year of practice, or just being around that D1 program, do you think that had an effect on your game? Do you think it improved your game?
Yeah, going against bigger guys, down in the post at the D1 level, taller, more athletic dudes, I think it definitely helped me, adjust my finishes and help me finish around the rim even better than I had in high school.
Because with the redshirt year, you did full practice. You probably played on the scout squad, and you were fully involved with them, right?
That scout team and full practice and weights 4 times a week. It was an eye-opening year for sure.
So you ended up you used your redshirt year there, and then you went through a decision process, and you decided Morningside was really the right home for you. Can you talk about that process? What brought you to Morningside?
Yeah, well, I was pretty, I was leaning towards Morningside before the whole USD thing, and then that ended up not working out. I wanted to take that chance at a Division I option. I didn't want to be looking back someday thinking, what if? So after that, I just it felt like the only place to go, and I called up Coach Sykes, and he said he'd be more than happy to have me. So I came down, and it was kind of just a done deal right there.
As I said in the opening, you had a terrific career there at Morningside, but this season was really something special. You guys outshot opponents by 10 percentage points, out-rebounded them by 10 rebounds. Your team's primary strength was that inside-outside game, you dominating inside, and then Alex and Imig knocking down seemingly every open shot. Talk about how the outside game and your game, how you work together, and what was the chemistry of that?
We early on, we try to pound the ball inside and get the defense to collapse and, get the shooters some open shots. And then anytime anybody sends a double team or helps off a guy, just with the teammates I got, I knew I could kick it out there, and it was almost a guaranteed 3 points. And then the guards just do a great job of moving without the ball, cutting and finding the open spot. So they made it really easy on me passing out, and always had my back, when I was finished around the rim to clean up anything I might miss.
You guys had a great chemistry once I always said the only way to stop you on the block is not let you get the ball on the block. Once you got the ball down there, if they didn't triple team you, boy, and then having those guys on the outside that could shoot really gave you some room to operate.
Absolutely. They definitely opened things up down low for me.
So, Tyler, I want to ask you about, there was one particular game, and I may be wrong, but I thought it was a pivotal moment in your season. It was early December. Concordia, which is a really good team, Concordia
Oh, yeah.
came to your place, and it was one of those nights where Brevin Sloop and Carter Kent just weren't going to miss, especially in the first half. They had you on your heels. You were able to hang on and win that game, and it set you up for a long run. What do you remember about that game, and what finally got you over the top with Concordia that night?
Yeah, those two were just hitting shot after shot, throwing punches, and we just kept battling back, just trying to stay in it kind of through the first half. We go into halftime down uh, 8 or so, I would say, and I mean, we just thought they were hitting tough shots in the first half, kept telling ourselves if we keep guarding this way, stay the course, and things will work out. And came out in the second half with them kind of doing the same thing, still knocking down tough shots, three after, transition, all that. And really, we just stayed the course, stayed true to what our defense, was, try to stop our man and keep moving the ball on offense. Scoring wasn't really the problem. It was where getting stops was the problem with those guys knocking down shots. So down the stretch, they ended up missing a few, and we made some free throws and ended up pulling out the win. But that was a huge game, kind of set the tone for a winning streak, I guess.
You went on quite a run. Before we leave Concordia, they were definitely the best 7 seed at that national tournament, and I really believe they were going to beat Ottawa. They didn't. Ottawa, very athletic team, ended up causing a lot of a lot of turnovers toward the end of that game. But they won the GPAC conference tournament, and they won at the Corn Palace, which is no easy feat.
And that's a tough place to play, I'll tell you what. But yeah, those guys can shoot the ball. Concordia, they were a solid team, and gave us fits more than once.
So I talked to you a little bit about this before we started, but a friend of mine and I, he watches NAI ball. He played NAI ball, and he watches it constantly. One thing we commented on about Morningside several times this season is there's no panic, very calm, always within your system. Can you talk about the maturity level of the team this year, and how critical was that to your success?
Yeah, I've been playing with these guys for about 3 years now, with Zach Emig and Trey Brown coming in, my sophomore year as freshmen. And it just goes to show you how that relationship can mature and grow. I mean, Coach Sykes has always preached, Morningside success over personal success. Do what's right for the team, always be there for your teammates, that kind of thing. And I mean, I guess watching us play, it kind of shows that, we always got each other's backs. We're always helping each other on defense. And it doesn't matter who scores. We got 5 guys averaging double digits. It's just a great environment. You just want to be a part of the team at that point.
So, Tyler, I want to ask you about, the key to beating Morningside on paper, at least, was keeping your shooting percentage down, and you've got to somehow compete on the boards with Morning to beat your team. That on paper, that's what it says, because that's how you beat teams. You shoot a high percentage, and then you just pound them on the boards. Late in the season, there was a couple of games. I think there was 1 or 2 games in between, but both Briarcliff, who absolutely shocked you, Briarcliff, and then I think a couple games later was Dakota Wesleyan. They were both able to. I think Briarcliff actually out rebounded you. Anyway, they were able to compete on the boards with you and hold your shooting percentage down. Was there something different in those games? Did they bring a different look to you, or how were they able to slow you down?
Yeah, I'm not so sure if it was something different, but those teams are just making shots. Briarcliff being a crosstown rival in the same city, traveling over there is never easy. And they got, their student section standing right on the court and a packed house because the whole town of Sioux City's there. And I mean, they were knocking down shots. They had some solid players, Jackson Lamb, and they hit some tough shots on their home floor. So, and the whole rebounding battle, I mean, they had some big guys. I don't know, any specifics that they would have been doing differently, but that was just a tough game, and they were playing with nothing to lose, and sometimes those are the toughest teams, to beat. And then going into Dakota Wesleyan that's a hard place to play, heading up to the Corn Palace. I don't actually think I ever won there in my college career. And at least against Dakota Wesleyan. We'd be another team up there, but that's a tough squad, and Wilbur does a great job coaching those guys. And I mean, the accolades Ty Hoagland has speaks for itself, and that team was going through some things and found a way to battle through, and just got the better of us that night, I guess.
In the course of a season, there's going to be those games, right, where somebody else is having a phenomenal night and you're down a little bit.
Absolutely.
I have a couple questions for you. Who was the toughest player in the GPAC for you to score against, and why?
Man, scoring against Tupper, he actually played for Doane. He ended up tearing his ACL this year, so he didn't get to play, but he was a big, 6'10", 6'11" guy. I think his size really just made it hard for me to score.
Because he was so long?
Yeah, just so long and big, athletic.
Who was the toughest guy for you to guard? Who did you just go, I don't like going up against these guys?
Jordan Spicer, actually, at Dakota Wesleyan. He had a different kind of game, kind of not the most athletic, not the most flashy, but, man, he finished well around the rim.
I just think that's an interesting perspective, because anybody who has watched you play, Tyler, I mean, you appear unstoppable once you get it going. And once you get the ball on the block and you have one guy guarding you, do you feel as invincible as you look out there?
I don't know if it's a feeling so much as just a coaching point. Our assistant coach, we go through our big stuff at practice, and he tells us every day, if you catch and they don't send a double team, you're scoring one-on-one. That's your job. That's a great look for us. So that's what you got to do. And I just kind of took that and ran with it. Anytime I had a one-on-one matchup, I was going at the rim.
And I want to remind everybody what I said at the start of this interview. 66%. Not for a year, for the career, for a 4-year career. That's just phenomenal. So whatever those coaches told you, it worked. Hey, I got to ask you a question. I know everybody in the GPAC knows the answer to this, but anybody else around the country, you and Alex, are you related or not?
Distant relatives, don't see each other at family gatherings, kind of thing.
Okay. So at the end of the year, you lose in the conference tournament. It happens to a lot of teams, actually, but you lose to Hastings, another good team in the GPAC that didn't make it to the tournament. Talked about that period between that loss to Hastings, which really had to stung, and then when you got to Sioux Falls. What was that period like?
Yeah, Hastings, came into Morningside and kind of stunned us, left a bad taste in our mouth. So we practiced, came to practice ready to work, to try to get that out of our mouths and prepare for what was to come. So we practiced hard, and just kind of were dwelling on the fact that, at least myself being a senior, my last conference tournament, and we lost in the first round, that always is going to hurt. And we were going to try to make up for it in the national tournament. So we got down there and, got ready to do our job at least.
Well, you played a terrific game against, it was College of the Ozarks, wasn't that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And we scouted them. Our assistant coach does a great job scouting, Trent Miller. Went through their film, did all that good stuff, and we're really prepared for the game. And I think that showed there in the second half of that game.
Yeah, in the first, I can't remember their guard that scored so many points in the first half.
I don't know his name either. Number 30.
Yeah, and then you guys started picking him up at half court and slowed him down a little bit, but then after that, it turned into a bit of a runaway. Tyler, talk to me about that moment that you found out the tournament was canceled.
Yeah, we were actually at practice at a high school there in Sioux Falls, preparing for our game the next day. And we're doing a drill or whatever, and our coach calls us in before the time is up on the clock. And I'm thinking, this is kind of weird. Hadn't really been thinking they were going to cancel. The sickness kind of felt so far away to me almost. And, yeah, he pulls us in and tells us there. And then from there on out, everything just kind of felt like a dream. We went back to the hotel and packed our bags and got out of there. But it was just so surreal.
Has it sunk in?
Not all the way, I don't think. Yeah, it's just tough. I mean, for my senior year to end that way, it just kind of doesn't feel right, you know?
No, it's dreadful. It's dreadful.
Yeah.
Tyler, what's up for you after Morningside?
Well, I'm going to graduate here with my agricultural degree. I'll probably head back to the Mars area, work at a bank or an ag company, something like that is what it's going to look like, I believe.
Have you thought at all about maybe playing overseas or?
I've considered it a little bit. I've talked to some people that have been over there, and with what's going on right now, leaving the country doesn't look all that great.
Yeah,
So
no kidding. You might not get back in.
that's right. So I don't know. I mean, if an opportunity comes my way, I'll definitely consider it, but just kind of depends where things go from here.
Well, Tyler, I really appreciate you being on the show. Congratulations on first team All American. What an honor. What a
Thank you.
great season Morningside had. You definitely were poised for a long run. That has to be really disappointing.
Yeah, it's a tough way to go out, but at least we got to play one game up there. There are a few teams that didn't even get a chance to play, so got to be happy with what you got.
I sure enjoyed watching you play. I'm sure there's a lot of teams in the GPAC that will be glad you won't be there anymore. But good luck to you in whatever you do. And hey, maybe down the road as the GPAC heats up, maybe you'd be willing to come back on and maybe talk some GPAC basketball next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Just let me know whatever works for you, and I'm always down to talk hoops.
Yeah, maybe we get Hoagland on and have him give his opinion, and then you tell us what's really going on.
Yeah, there we go. That might be worth something.
Hey, Tyler, thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and stay well, and take care of yourself and your family.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks for having me on, Billy. You take care.
Absolutely. Thank you.